Good morning students. How are you all? I hope you all are fine at your place. I'm your English teacher Miss Bharti. Students, as you know that from our previous classes we have been learning about types of noun and we have already learned about countable and uncountable noun, and today we are going to further proceed in this topic, and the topic which I am talking about is types of nouns. Today we are going to learn about four other types of nouns. First one is common noun. So here common noun. Common nouns, names given in general. It means common noun is a name of a person, place, animal or a thing in general. For example, dog, man, girl, boy, all these are types of common nouns. And let us move on to the proper noun. Proper noun is a particular name given to a noun. For example, while giving examples of common noun, I said man. And if I am talking about proper noun here, the proper noun will be the name of that man. For example, Mr. Sharma. Mr. Sharma is a man. Here I have written common nouns on the left side and proper nouns on the right side. So if a common noun, I say day. Day is a common noun because day can be any. But if I name a particular day, it is a proper noun. Similarly, if I say month, month can be any. We have 12 months, it can be any month out of those 12 months. But if I say May, then May is a proper noun because it is a particular name given to a month. City, city can be any city. It can be Mumbai, it can be Goa. Now here we are having film. Film, here we have not specified which film. So film is a common noun, and if we specify, if we tell the name of a particular film, then the name of the Titanic here is a proper noun. Company, here we have not mentioned which company, so company can be any company. So company is a common noun, and Sony, if we name the company, then the name of the company is proper noun. Now I say monument. It can be any monument, but if we name the monument, let us say Taj Mahal here. So Taj Mahal is a proper noun because it is a name given to a particular monument. Similarly, boy. Here we have not specified which boy. So boy is a common noun, and if we name the boy, then Kartik is a proper noun. Girl is a common noun, and if we name the girl, then let us say Sneha, then Sneha is a proper noun. Let us understand this topic using some more examples here. Students, here I have written a few sentences, and in this exercise we have to identify the common noun and proper noun. Before starting this exercise, one thing we need to remember, there is one thing which we need to keep in our mind, that a proper noun always begins with its first letter capital. Now let us begin with the exercise. Miss Mukta is my favorite teacher. The thing we need to do here is we have to identify the noun. Mukta, Mukta is a noun, it is a person. Teacher, teacher is also a noun, teacher is a person. So here, as we have identified the nouns, now it's time to identify the type of noun which we have in this sentence. Here, Miss Mukta. Miss Mukta is the name of a particular person, and also it is written in capital letter. So Miss Mukta is a proper noun, and teacher. Teacher is a common noun because teacher can be any teacher, and if we specify the name of the teacher, then it is a proper noun. Now let us come to the second example. There are 30 students in my class but Shruti is my favorite student. First thing what we need to do is we need to identify the noun. Students, class and Shruti. Students is a common noun because here we have not named the student. So it is a common noun, and if we name the student, which is Shruti here, then it is a proper noun. Now you must be thinking, what about class? I know class is also a noun, but a collective noun which we are not going to do here. In this exercise we are going to just learn about common noun and proper noun. So let us forget about this here. Now let us come to the third example. I have visited several hill stations, but I liked Nainital the most. First step is to identify the noun. So what is the noun here? Hill station. Why hill station? Because it is a place. So here Nainital. Hill station can be any. It means it is a common noun. And if we name a particular hill station, that is Nainital here, so it is a proper noun. So children, this is the way we identify common noun and proper noun. Children, I hope you all have understood what are common noun and proper noun. Now let us move on to our next topic, which is concrete noun and abstract noun. Concrete nouns. The nouns which we can experience with one of our five senses. What are our five senses? Eyes, nose, tongue, ears and skin. These are our five sense organs. So the nouns which we can experience with one of our five senses by seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting and touching are called concrete nouns. It means the concrete nouns are those nouns which can be seen, which can be tasted, which can be smelled, which can be listened or which can be felt. So let us take some examples here. Mountains. Mountains can be seen. So mountains is a concrete noun. Mountains can be seen. Mountains can be touched also. Perfume. Can we smell perfume? Yes, we can smell perfume. So perfume is a concrete noun. Trumpet. Can we listen the music of a trumpet? Yes, we can listen. So trumpet is a concrete noun. Noodles. We can taste noodles. So noodles is a concrete noun. Rain. We can touch rain. We can touch the droplets of rain. So rain is a concrete noun. So remember the thing that the nouns which we can experience with one of our five senses are called concrete nouns. These are a few examples of concrete noun, and let us move on to the abstract noun. Children, abstract nouns are just opposite of concrete nouns. It means this type of nouns cannot be experienced with any of our five senses. Here, abstract nouns cannot be touched or seen, can only be thought of and felt. Let us take some examples here. An idea is a thought. It cannot be touched, it cannot be seen, it can only be thought of. Happiness is a feeling. It cannot be touched, it cannot be seen, it can be only felt. Now, an abstract noun refers to qualities, state of being and actions. So here, what are qualities? Kindness, wisdom, all these are our qualities. And state of being, childhood, adolescence, beauty, all these are our state of being. Now, last one is actions, and its examples are judgment, movement. It means all these are related to some verbs. An abstract noun can be formed by a verb, an adjective, and a common noun also. Here we are going to start with the verbs. To form an abstract noun from a verb, we need to add a suffix to the verb. Suffix are the words which are added at the end of a word to change its meaning. So, to form abstract noun from a verb, we add tion at the end of the verb. Here we have educate. Educate is a verb and the abstract formed here with this verb is education. Now protect. Protection. Here we have added the suffix tion. Interact. Interaction. Expect. Expectation. These are some of the examples in which we have formed an abstract noun from a verb by adding a suffix tion. But it is not necessary to add a suffix tion to a verb to form an abstract noun. Sometimes the cases are different. For example, here I am having a verb grow, and if I want to form an abstract noun from this verb, we will not add a suffix. Lose, lost, discover, discovery. These are some of the abstract nouns which can be formed by verbs. An abstract noun can be formed from an adjective also by adding suffix ity to the adjective. For example, the adjective given here is, example, generous is an adjective and generosity is an abstract noun formed from the word generous. Noble, nobility. Mature, maturity. Yes children, now let us do a small exercise based on this topic. Stable. Stable is an adjective and its abstract noun will be stability. Real. Real is an adjective and reality is an abstract noun. Curious is an adjective and curiosity is an abstract noun. Abstract nouns can be formed from common nouns also, like child is a common noun and childhood is an abstract noun as it is state of being. Slave is a common noun and slavery is a state of being. Now let us do a small exercise based on this to clear the concept in our mind. For example, we have been given here mother. Mother is a common noun and what will be its abstract noun? Can anyone guess? Its abstract noun will be motherhood as it is a state of being. Patriot. Patriot is a common noun and patriotism is an abstract noun. Brother. Brother is a common noun and brotherhood is an abstract noun. So here we have clearly understood that an abstract noun can be formed by a verb, an adjective and a common noun also. Here we are going to learn a new thing. We have learned how to form an abstract noun from an adjective And now we are going to learn how to form an adverb from an abstract noun. So we must be clear about the meaning of all three before starting the exercise. An adjective describes a noun. Abstract nouns are thoughts and feelings. An adverb is a word which adds meaning to a verb. For example, the baby is sleeping. The baby is sleeping. This is a simple sentence. And if I say the baby is sleeping soundly, here I am describing the way baby is sleeping. The baby is sleeping soundly. Soundly is an adverb here. So children, most of the times we use a suffix ly to form an adverb like soundly, politely, carefully, harshly, accidentally. All these are adverbs in which we have added a suffix ly. Let us take some more examples here, but first we will form abstract noun from an adjective, and after that we will form an adverb from that word. For example, let us take here polite is an adjective, politeness is an abstract noun, and politely, here we have added suffix ly, and politely is an adverb. Brave is an adjective, bravery is an abstract noun, and bravely is an adverb. For example, the soldiers fought bravely. How did the soldiers fight? The soldiers fought bravely. Here, let us do a small exercise in which we have been provided adjectives and we have to form abstract nouns and then adverbs out of those adjectives. Here, we have careful as an adjective, careful, carefulness, and what will be its adverb? Carefully. Next is proud. Its abstract noun will be pride. For example, I am proud of him. Here we have used the word proud as an adjective. Now, if I say she feels pride in showing her paintings, here we have used the word pride as an abstract noun. Now, what will be the adverb? Here? It will be proudly. We have added ly at the end of the word. Now, generous, generosity, and its adverb will be generously. So children, today we learned about 4 types of noun. First one was common noun, second one was proper noun, third one was concrete noun, and the fourth one was abstract noun. And we learned the abstract noun in detail. We learned how to form an abstract noun from a verb. We learned how to form an abstract noun from an adjective, and we learned how to form an abstract noun from a common noun also. In the end, we also learned how to form an adverb from the abstract noun. So children, here we have completed our today's topic. I hope you all have understood whatever I have explained in today's class. I will meet you in our next video. Till then, stay home and stay safe.